Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So today's video has to do with everybody going to debt. So savings is dropping like a rock. Okay. It's becoming more and more difficult to buy a house because of rising interest rates and, you know, just everything that's going on with the real estate market. But what this video is about is we're going to talk about the most common reasons people are going to debt, which is affecting them if they want to buy a house.
Right.
So, like credit cards, you know, credit cards have not been this high forever. Did you see that article?
Yes, I did. We were doing really, really good there with credit card debt. And then as inflation started to kick in and all the other stuff, we started creeping right back up again. Everything started costing more money, so people went for the credit card.
And now people are starting to, I read an article, people are starting to steal, you know when the old saying, steal from Peter to pay Paul on a credit card?
Yep.
Take advance on one credit card to pay another credit card? They got a little plane flying over us. Are you allowed to fly a drone here?
No. No, the airfield's like right across, it's a couple miles away.
I was wondering, I was like, because I know you like flying drones.
Yeah,
like,
no, I wish. I wouldn't have to drive anywhere.
I mean, he was pretty low. Anyways, we get off subject, but hey, do me a favor. You guys like this kind of video? Consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel and it would be greatly appreciated. All right, Bill, let's go for another thing, credit cards. And people are defaulting on credit cards.
Yeah.
All right, the other thing is people are still, I just read another article, they're buying these brand new vehicles.
Yep.
A lot of them, like 20% of them, the payments are over $1,000.
Yeah.
That's freaking insane.
Car prices went up in general, so it's not a far stretch to get to almost an $1,000 payment on some of these vehicles.
Here's another plane. Now, does that affect real estate prices?
It's just a beautiful day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you may see 1 or 2 planes on the weekend, 3 planes on. There's a cool biplane that comes out here and flies around on the weekend, like a Red Baron type, and it's really, really cool.
Well, like in New York, I lived outside Kennedy Airport, and I used to have the Concorde fly over my house early in the morning. Oh, like literally right over my house. Like I could see the windows, people inside the windows. That's how low it was.
Oh, geez, no, this is there's a municipal airport a couple miles away, and this is what they just fly this way sometimes.
All right, what were we talking about? Car payments.
Car payments, $1,000 or more.
Yeah, to me that's a mortgage payment. Well, it used to be a mortgage payment.
I was like, you know, used to be a mortgage payment.
But you don't think that's a little excessive?
Well, it depends on the car you're getting. I get it. Like, I'm just saying, like, we went out because you were looking at the Tacomas. Look at the prices of a Tacoma.
Yeah, I know, but I also told them to pretty much screw off when they wanted to add $6,000 to the MSRP.
Yeah, they wanted to add money to it for convenience fees and other dealer fees and whatever they wanted to call it. But at the end of the day, everything has gone up, 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 up. So that's why it doesn't surprise me to hear these numbers. Even the, you know, less expensive vehicles prices have gone up crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they have. So, but basically, car defaults, now let's go over that. Used car defaults has dramatically increased. They went up to the level of 2007 levels.
Wow.
And those are like BC papers, you know, people with 650 credit scores and everything.
Yeah.
That's what this article says. So they're defaulting big time because they paid big bucks for a used car. Because
of their lower credit score?
Yeah, because of the low credit score. So, and the funny thing is, what a lot of them are doing is that before they let the car go, they go out and they buy another car, a more affordable one.
That makes sense.
So now they have a second car and then let go of the other car.
Yeah. So they get into what they need to get into, and then before their credit gets hurt, and then they dump the other one.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy situation. Bill, give me another one, especially for like younger people, like millennials and all that stuff, you know. What's causing them to go into debt that it's affecting them from buying a house? Like we said, baby boomers, Gen X, all them have more ownership than millennials.
Right, they've probably paid off their mortgage, or they're very, very close to it, and they have a much lower mortgage typically. So, the rising costs of college education is definitely contributing to that. So you're taking out more student loans, getting into more student debt to get that education, to get the job that you want, and then you're going in and you're not 20 years experienced, so you're coming in on a lower scale as far as salary goes and benefits before you move on up.
Yeah, and the student loans kicked in October 1st,
right.
What I understand, but I read someplace that you don't have to pay on it right now, but the insurance starts collecting.
Right, you're just again robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
In that situation, in my opinion anyway, you just pay, even if you're paying the minimum and it's not allowing the interest to build up, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I watched an interview, and one student says, yeah, I'm doing the interest only because eventually, since it's an election year, eventually that they'll just forgive the student loan. They don't have to pay anything back.
I don't know if I would hedge that bet, to be honest with you, myself. But at least he's paying, or she's paying, the interest rate so that it's not accruing more money, but you're not paying it down either.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is what I read in this article, medical expenses. A lot of people, because of the cost of health insurance, are waiving health insurance. Then something happens and it costs them a fortune, and because medical insurance is expensive.
Medical insurance is outrageous. It's always been outrageous, but I think it's even more so now, and I've always found it kind of backwards. The older you get, the more it costs, obviously, because you're supposed to have more health issues, I guess. But insurance rate, I was just having a conversation with a colleague yesterday, and their insurance rates are, they're paying almost $1,200 a month, family.
Yeah.
Independent, they don't work for a corporation and, for a group policy, but $1,200, and they still have to pay $100 to go get their teeth cleaned. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but I'll give you an example that's a weird situation with insurance. Again, we're not insurance agents, but I need to get an MRI, and they bill the insurance company thousands of dollars. And another time, I need to get an MRI, and they said, hey, I don't have insurance. They're like, okay, 150 bucks. Right. I don't know the exact number, but it was stupid.
It was ridiculously low. Yeah, it's, when you do cash pay like that, I do it for certain things too. It's just, I'm not running it through my insurance. I just give it, towards cash pay and be done.
But how do they, when it's cash, it's like an eighth of the price compared to, when you're going for a test? How do they do that?
From what I understand from my mom, when she was still in practice and stuff, it's what the short version of this is. It's basically what they're getting from the insurance company.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a little bit less because now you're not paying your biller to handle things. She didn't have to have her biller go, file all the paperwork. It was just, here's the X dollars. This is what it costs, because that's what they're going to get from the insurance company at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go on to our next one. All right, Bill, give me another one.
Some of it just is becoming educated on finances and how things really work, so making a budget. Well, how do you, if nobody's ever taught you how to do that,
yeah, they really should teach that in school.
When I was in school, we had that class.
Really?
Yeah, it was in middle school, and we had to take a little, young person economic, they taught us how to write a check. I'm kind of going back a little bit, guys, sorry. But how to actually write a check, how to fill out envelopes, things like that, and how to do a basic budget and fill out a check register for how much money you have in your account and what's going out, so you can make a budget. And that stuff, from what I understand from my friends with younger kids, that doesn't happen anymore. So we have to turn to YouTube and other sources to learn that stuff, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Unless somebody tells you, and you got to budget things now. So I think a lack of knowledge plays a fact, and is a contributing factor to this.
Yeah. All right, I got another one that people are going into debt. Now the companies are starting to say, hey, no more remote work. come back to
Yes.
the office.
Uh-huh.
So what these people are doing, a lot of them are doing, is they're saying, okay, I quit, you know, or they get fired. Because think about it. When this remote thing kicked on, a lot of people moved to Florida. So that's
Right.
why we became the state with the highest real estate value in the country.
Right.
The second one.
Yeah.
California's still ahead of us. But so now they're like, okay, I'm not taking that job. Or I have to go back to that company, I have to go back to work, and now I'm going to sell my house that I just bought, and by the time they pay real estate fees and, you know, closing costs,
taxes, things like that, if they have to.
So what do you think? Job market, and companies are starting to lay off people. I know the employment numbers came out, but I looked at those employment numbers, and the biggest hiring person appeared to be is the government. You know?
Of course.
It was hospitality, and the U.S. government did the most hiring.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're going to run in, I get it, you know, oh man, that's a tough one. Do you quit your job versus go back to work? Well, I guess it matters if you can find a job or not.
I know.
You know, you should probably find a job in the area that you live in before you quit your job. I would think that would probably be prudent. But, you know, there's options. You could rent your property out. So at least you're paying the mortgage. And to get a new mortgage in your area, there's programs, you know, as long as they're still active, that you can, it'll take the valuation of the average rent so that it kind of wipes out your debt of that house, because you're going to turn it into a rental property, and then you're going to buy your next primary home.
Actually, that's pretty true. So when I lived in New Hampshire, I moved down here during the crash because I was in the mortgage industry. And I moved down here, I had a condo down here, but I rented my house because the house values dropped dramatically. So I rented it for like 3 years, and then when the market went back up, I sold it, and I didn't lose any money. I actually made money.
Right, and you could do that. People could do that. That's another thing for people who want to build that generational wealth or just continue to build wealth, where you get into your starter home, and then instead of selling that house, you rent that house out. Now that requires you to obviously save more down payment money, but now you have another asset in your portfolio to rent. So there's options and opportunities there. That's why it's really important when you're making these decisions not to just look at YouTube, although we do want you to subscribe and all that good stuff. We appreciate it greatly and appreciate it, but you know, sit down with a real estate professional, sit down with your financial planner and educate yourself on some things and ask the right questions so that you can make an informed decision. You know, get some second and third opinions before you make. That's a huge decision.
Yeah, it's very big. Yeah.
So,
to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Bill. Here's another reason why people are going into debt. This is my opinion. Don't beat me up too much on it, everybody. I think people just think they deserve things. I deserve that shiny car. I deserve that fancy motorcycle. I deserve that fancy boat. So, you know, for some reason, the companies that are selling them get the people the loans, and they're all excited about it for the first 2-3 months, and they get it in over their head, or they're getting a loan knowing that their job is not stable.
Right.
And they're living paycheck to paycheck, or they might have enough money for a couple of months, but they're like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to buy it, I deserve it. Why do you deserve it? I just don't understand.
You're convincing yourself to do what, you know, you'll come up with a reason.
Yeah.
You know, people will come up with a reason. We're all been guilty of it. I'm guilty of it.
I'm guilty of it too.
We all do it. You just have to take it into consideration. If you're making the money, great, and you can, you know, you've got your nest egg saved, go for it. Go for it if you want. But just, you know, moderation, everything in moderation, that is important. You know, you don't want to get overextended. You don't want to have something happen, because we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, if your job is not stable, you know, then, you know, it's just not smart.
Yeah, just be cautious. You know, with the way the economy is right now, rising interest rates.
So what's the biggest reason why everybody's going into debt?
Interest rates. They can't afford anything. So
inflation.
That's right. The interest rates on, where you're paying your credit cards, like, I can't afford this, so now, well, I'm just gonna go buy my groceries, or I'm gonna do whatever, right? And I'm swiping the card, I'll pay it off next month. I'll pay that off next month. And this interest rates keep climbing and climbing and climbing. And the next thing you know, you're making your $200, $300 a month payment, and you're actually not paying anything off. You're just paying off that interest.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, they're saying, oh, inflation's again under control. It's not. Go to the supermarket. I went there, I bought a few things, not many. I thought it was going to be like $30. It was insane. $60.
It's insane. I try to shop the deals, the BOGOs, things like that. We're cutting back as much as we can as well. Just because.
Even travel's expensive.
It is. That's outrageous too. Even if you do it on the cheap, it can be. I follow this one YouTube channel, and they go around and they just talk about the costs in certain areas. Mm-hmm. It's a great channel.
Yeah.
But no matter what, I think in all walks of life, everywhere we go, inflation is affecting everybody and everything right now. Mm-hmm. And we all have to do our part, and cut back a little bit, because we need that rainy day money.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, everybody, my opinion is batten down the hatches in case something happens. I don't know if something will happen, but if it does, you're prepared. But if it doesn't happen, you have extra money. Go on a nice vacation.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back. You deserve it.
And go on vacation. So just how Jimmy from Exploring with Jimmy B said, go on vacation. Anyways, you have anything to add to this video?
No, that's it. Just, seek out education if you need help on things. And I'm learning new stuff every day that I didn't know before. Make a budget. And sometimes when you put that pen to paper, just like if I counsel my real estate customers, put pen to paper, figure out what you want, what you need, and how much you can afford, and what you're spending money on today.
And if you look at your credit card statements and what you're spending on, $20 here, $30 there, $50 there, if you write it down, you'll be like,
scary.
It's really, really scary.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's today's video. Greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Thank you, and I'll talk to you on the next one.
See you on the next video.
Bye.
Thanks.